Welcome everyone, this is the 3 Gamers channel, and today we are covering Formula 1 2015. Now, go on, Craig.
Yeah, what I was going to say was, this will be interesting for me. I don't play a lot of racing games, and I've never seen this before, so this is going to be an entertaining and enlightening experience, as this is one of Aaron's specialities.
Yep, this is going to be interesting because we've got the sound low on the screen, so I usually have to run on engines sounds. So if I'm quiet at times, it's because I'm concentrating. I do apologize. But this is a game that I wasn't so interested in at first because of Project Cars, but then I saw video footage of it and I wanted to give it a go. Formula 1 is my favourite sport of all times, and let's get this race underway.
Race strategy? I thought the perfect race strategy is normally finish first.
Well, that's what I'm going to try and do. But, you know, this is McLaren Honda, and we all know how that ends. Prematurely. Okay.
Like you!
And we're racing! Okay, so this is Singapore, one of my favourite tracks. It's a night race, one of the first night races to be introduced. Oh, this is what I meant by concentrating.
I think the game's over. He's lost the race.
I've lost my front wing. This, oh my god.
We fucked it! We fucked it!
Yes.
Clearly listening to the engine for Aaron is basically essential. I'm half tempted to find him a pair of headphones.
Yeah.
But
can I be the typical kid in this bit as Aaron's the driver, I'm in the back seat going, we're there yet, we're there yet, we're there yet, we're there yet.
But no, this generation has been kind to Formula 1. For the past 5 years, the games haven't changed as much because, well, there's not been that much change in Formula 1, but and it's a racing game. What can you really change? Not a lot, but hey, it's interesting. It's got a really nice feature with the headset, which I can't use today, but it allows you to speak to your team radio, which really helps win a race for me. It gives you the ability to know what weather conditions are going to be coming into play at what point, well, roughly. So you can change your tyre strategy, change your car setup on the fly.
seems like this game does a lot for immersion in Formula 1 then, from what you're saying then.
Yeah, it's going. It's not trying to be it's trying to simulate, but it's also trying to be like the TV. At the end of each race, you've got the podium celebrations, especially if you come on the, appear on the podium yourself. The team radio talks through the controller, so it feels like you've got a team on your side. I forgot to change my strategy.
And I think we've definitely established this race is not going to go well for Aaron here.
I am 20th on the grid. I am 9 places down on where I should be, and I've just had to have my nose changed. This is the slowest pit stop I've ever had to attend.
That sounds just like a night out for Paris Hilton.
Hey!
Well, no. In terms of performing poorly, it seems to be our way at the moment because recently we've just been recording some Dishonored footage, and I fuck up quite spectacularly in that as well.
Yeah.
So, depending on which order these go out in, if you've already seen that, this might be a running theme for these videos. Us fucking up constantly.
Yeah. And doesn't sound good. Apparently something's overheating. I think it's my engine. Could be my brakes.
Well, if your engine overheats, we get a nice explosion.
Yeah, fireworks. Prematurely. Oh.
And if your brakes overheat, well, we get to watch you spin like a ballerina across tarmac.
An explosion show or a smoke show?
But no, I mean,
I like the sound of both.
I picked this track as well because it shows it off graphically as well. I mean, just look at the reflections on the car.
It is beautiful, I will say that.
It's
And
amazing.
I don't say that about a lot of car games, but this is lovely. Like, the lighting's beautiful, the track feels very compact and very sort of...
I do like that it's showing you how your opponents are doing there at the top of the screen.
Yeah, it
showed Hamilton's just on his fastest lap. That's a good feature.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's what you'd see on the TV as well. It is, you know, if you do watch it on the TV, you will notice a lot of similarities, and that's what this year they're going for. They're not going for a career mode as such. So you get to play as your favourite driver and see them get to the top, or in my case, stay where they are in real life. No offense, Jensen, if you're watching this. Met the guy. Brilliant.
I love the technical readout that you've got, like the little blueprint you've got there of your car showing all the temperature, all the damage.
I mean, at this point it's showing me how much fuel I'm using. I'm on optimal, so, you know, if I stay on this engine power, then
basically you're getting
out.
the best value of speed for fuel, basically.
Yeah. I just turned the engine down slightly to conserve a bit of fuel to see me through the end of the race. Oh.
See, now I know nothing about Formula One as a sport either, because I'm not. There's not a lot of sports I watch, if I'm perfectly frank. But this actually looks. It looks stunning. I actually quite enjoy watching it. Which, again, racing games, they have to be good for me to want to play them. But very rare do I enjoy watching them. And this is just so nice. The lighting's lovely. I like as well, and this would probably come in handy for someone like me who doesn't play a lot of these games and who can't drive for shit in any video game. That line, that what did you call it?
Dynamic racing line.
Dynamic racing line is excellent for warning you of what's coming up, and obviously the change from yellow to red based on how far the turn is.
In honesty as well, to let you know this, Craig, as someone who the last Formula One game I played was 2002, a long time ago. The racing line has actually been in Formula One games for a long time.
Yeah, has it really?
In 2002 as well.
A lot of back when Formula One games first started coming out, back on PS, well, not even PS1, but the ones that I know of properly are PS1 games. Formula One didn't have any simulation feel to it at all. It was all arcade. It was always timed. You had to hit checkpoints. As far as I can remember, there wasn't actually ever a serious simulator type Formula One game until PS2, actually, which is interesting. And PS2 had one of the best Formula One games with Formula One 2003, I think it was, that I played. And it allowed you to actually create a driver, not just by name, but just by looks as well. And it took you through. The career mode was way more in depth. You did like test sessions as well, and trials to get to change from team to team. Back when you had mid-season transactions with drivers and teams, so just like in football, really. But they seem to have taken all that out of the season in real life and in the games as well.
Based on what you said, it seems like this is an attempt to rejuvenate Formula One as a gaming genre.
Yeah.
So that when they do start re-including all of that stuff, there's an audience waiting for it. There's an audience wanting to play it.
Of course, your only problem there really is Formula One itself as a game or as a motorsport. It is really a very You've got to be in,
market.
yeah, you've got to be into Formula One in order, I think, to fully enjoy everything that this has to show.
If you know, it could just be that Aaron's a far better driver than me in most video games, but it looks quite nicely controlled and it looks quite nice to play, to the point where I'm actually considering giving this a go.
Wow.
Which
Great. That's quite a
high
big step.
praise for a car game. Because
Oh, look at that!
we
Come
found
on.
another driver.
Yeah, you're breaking down. That's the only reason I got past him. I am way behind. But no, again, this doesn't happen very often. But
That's what she said.
I'm used to doing qualifying and qualifying further up in the pack. So I don't have to deal with what we call wheel-to-wheel combat. I just usually get out in front and run and hide.
Finish him.
Yes.
Wheelality.
I cannot believe you've just done a Mortal Kombat reference in a Formula One video. Two games that never come across each other, and Craig is.
That is not
managed
true.
That.
That is not true.
What do you mean it's not true? When have you ever played a Formula One game and Shao Kahn is fucking in the Formula One car?
I'll explain that now. If anyone out there has played Mortal Kombat Armageddon, you will know that there is, unbelievably, a hidden racing mode in that game.
As you can see that I've just brought up,
Scott is now looking at me bewildered. Sorry.
bringing up a... Sorry to cut you off. I brought up a submenu with radio. That allows me to give commands to my radio to, like I said, check weather condition, check car condition to see how, see if my tyres are wearing off, or to see what damage is done to my car and how it's affecting me. I can even just tell them when I want to come into the pits. And
I'm really hoping we see like a weather shift at some point, just so I can see what the weather's like.
yeah, that would be...
I just want to see if it starts pissing it down. Aaron just fucks up even more on this.
Oh god,
It would make me happy.
surprisingly, the tyre wear on this, or anything to do with the tyres, seems better this year. The tyres don't drop off the cliff, as we like to call it, drop off the cliff, quite as much as they used to in other games. I feel like I can preserve my tyres better. Not by much. The tyre wear is scripted to each race, but I don't feel like I'm spinning off quite as easily towards the end of my tyre.
So when you say the tyre wear is scripted to each race, does that mean it's not dynamic? It doesn't depend on what you're doing?
It is dynamic, but there's also a level of scripted wear in there. It will wear out at certain parts of the race. Inevitably. But you can... I feel like you've got a little bit more control of when it happens. It's not exactly on this lap every race or every time I play that circuit.
So obviously the wear's inevitable, but you've got some more control over when and how it occurs.
I mean,
as I say, I'm actually wanting to see just how the handling is on this game, and whether or not I'd be able to drive it. I mean, it looks fast-paced. Obviously, it's a racing game, but it looks quite speedy in the way the controls react. So I can just picture myself spinning out of control. So whether it's Aaron making it look easy to control, or whether it just is that smooth, and if that's the case, I wouldn't mind giving this a spin. Because the only car games I generally like to play are what I affectionately refer to as battle car games, things like Mario Kart, demolition car games, or things where the main focus is not the race, but what fancy weapon you can blow the fucker in front of you up with.
yeah.
I think for all of us, really, the ultimate test of this game and how well it is control-wise would be for me to give it a go, to be honest with you, because I have never in my life played a Formula 1 game before without at least destroying the car on the first corner.
As I almost did today.
And to be honest, I am trying to think if I've ever played a Formula 1 game ever before now, which I don't think I have.
All I have to say to bring our memory back is me playing Monaco.
Oh god. Yeah. That was disastrous. And we take 17th place. Finally. Woo! DRS. Right. Oh, P17. Oh, that's good.
All
Oh no, 15! Wow.
all Greek to me. Oh no.
As you can see on the damage indicator there, my tyres, you can see the tyre wear, they've gone yellow. That means they are worn. So, as you've noticed, I'm having to brake slightly harder into corners. But again, that's what you'd have to do. And I just love it. I mean, I have learned so much about the ins and outs of Formula 1 and what the drivers have to go through just by playing through these games. You know, it simulates the pressures and the... If I was to play it without any of the assists, as I will admit I am playing currently...
You're still in 15th.
I'm still in 15th, yeah. You would have to you would have to do 1,000,001 things in the cockpit in split seconds. You change gear in one lap approximately 120 times, give or take, and that's just in one lap.
And, you know, again, you were talking about, obviously, conserving some of your fuel for taking you through the whole of the race. Now, in most racing games, fuel is not a concern.
No.
In most racing games, fuel has no relevance whatsoever. The car just goes until the end. And the idea of conserving fuel, going into the pits, keeping your car in shape, keeping the tyre wear off, see, he's playing catch-up now.
He's doing pretty well. I mean, he's gone from 20th
going from 20th to 11th. But yeah, the idea of doing all of that adds a new element to the game. It makes it feel far more realistic than most racing games. And again, it's something that would happen a lot in Formula 1. It presents new challenges, which is another reason why I think I would be shit at this game. But again, the beautiful visuals, the interesting mechanics, and again, how smooth this looks like it is to control. Looks like it'd be well worth it.
Yeah.
Well worth giving a go just to see if I could drive on this thing, which I can almost guarantee I can't.
And for fans of Formula 1, as Aaron is out of the rewards, then this does look like a game that really is doing what it can to bring the series back to its best and back to those roots that made the game popular for Formula 1 fans originally.
Yeah, I mean, in previous games they've tried to bring certain aspects, like you say, for the fans to get back into it. For those that have played the old PS1 games, back when drivers like Nigel Mansell and that were in the games, in one of the older games they incorporated, or one of the more recent games should I say, in 2013 they incorporated a golden age of Formula 1, which meant they brought back some of the old tracks and some of the oops, I've done that again. Some of the old tracks and some of the old drivers and car designs back, which for me was fantastic. To feel the difference between the new cars and the old cars was astounding.
The speed that's going on here is fantastic. Like, he's fighting for position with an enemy car. I'm starting to see what Aaron was saying before about his preferred playstyle, in that he prefers to avoid conflict rather than myself, who would probably smash the fuck out of the enemy car and my own in the process.
Just a question here, then, Aaron. I've just noticed that now you've got up to 9th position, the marker by your name has actually changed to green. Is that because 9th position is basically what you're aiming for
Yeah.
in the race? So you have set objectives.
Yeah, the team calculates how good you've been performing in previous races. For this is just a default setting for said car and driver. This is what in real life Jensen Button in this season has achieved before. So that's what he should be aiming for. So the game gives you that chance to,
and that goal to work towards.
And it adds to, again, the realism and adds to the challenge. You're constantly thinking, and just as I did there, I was changing my tyre strategy. Now, I was on, in fact, can I? No, I can't. So I've gone from the options, which I'm currently running, to primes, which are the harder compound. They are slower, but they are more durable. So these are the things you've got to constantly think about ahead of time. I'm trying to always beat the AI.
Perfect example there, just
Yeah.
how vicious these races are. Because just that one stop has booted you down from the objective that you were originally doing.
Yeah.
You're now back down now.
To 17. It's vicious.
And this is only on medium difficulty. Now, the reason I like to run and hide is because
Damaging the enemy means damaging yourself.
well, yeah, and the AI aren't. They're cleverer than they used to be, but they're still not clever enough. Your car doesn't hold mass on the track.
What you say basically is there's no awareness from the AI drivers as though to say your car's there.
Yeah, so
I
they'll
need
just
to-
pull into the corner and not really avoid
and
you.
ram you just
Yeah.
completely, as if it was a battle game.
which,
Yeah.
to be fair, detracts a little from
real.
the realism, because any drivers that you're driving against within Formula One obviously would take that care and caution within the race.
Yeah. So if you want to have a clean race, then I do advise that you stay up front, or don't expect a clean race at all because of the AI. But as we're coming up to the closing stages of this race, I am on lap 11 of 15. What, from a spectator's point of view, what do you guys, how do you...
As I said,
Overall.
I actually wouldn't mind giving at least 1 or 2 races of this a go, just because it looks stunning and the driving looks smooth as butter. And just watch myself spin out of control and probably blow up my car, because I will smash into every fucker I can. Scott!
Same as Greg, really. Obviously, we can see that the visuals are absolutely beautiful. I mean, as Aaron stated earlier in the video, you've got the reflections in the car and just the aesthetics of the background of this game as well. You can see just how much effort has gone into it. I would be willing to give this a go, but in all truth, the reason behind it would be almost similar to Craig. I wouldn't be doing it to try the mechanics or anything like that, because I'm terrible at racing games, and essentially the only thing I would be doing it for is to test the damage of the car.
The damage
That's what would
systems,
happen.
yeah.
To
I do
see-
like the pits and all of the options and all the things you have to consider when you're racing on this. I mean, I can understand why Aaron tries to pull away in front early and then tries to stay there rather than...
Well, we saw ourselves just how vicious this game is. We're going into the pits at 9th, and he's now back down in 17th,
Yeah.
because he was in the pits there. So.
Yeah, pulling a gap from the AI and being ahead, you've got to be aware of your time and how long it would roughly take to be in the pits and get back out again. Again, adds some more strategy. this game is very strategy based. For a racing game, which I love, it's slower paced, weirdly enough, than most other racing games.
With the championship mode that you said that there was on here, where you essentially take your favourite card and try and get them as far as they can go. When it comes to the pits themselves, because you're the one playing it, is it button press? Do you press buttons to get the pits to do what they need to do, or is it just a case that they're set to a certain time limit and they will?
They are set to a certain strategy. You know when you said about the race strategy?
Yeah.
I was. It tells you roughly what lap to come in that your tyres will run out.
I'm not on about that though. I'm on about your team within the pits. Are they set automatically within the game? Are they programmed to a specific time?
Well, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Know that it takes them to do the.
Right.
Right.
Or
No.
does more damage equal more time?
Yeah.
Right.
As you've noticed, you've not really seen a pit where I've not had to change my nose. If it was just a simple case of changing tyres, it'd be roughly around about 2.3, depending on which team you're playing. If I was playing as Mercedes or Ferrari, then you're looking at 2.3, 2.4 pit stops.
The point that I want to make though is in the championship mode.
Yeah.
Is there an upgrade system?
No, it's not trying to be a career mode.
No,
it's
I completely
just
get that, but
it's
I feel
or an
like
RPG. It's just you trying to.
I think personally that would be the next stage for Formula 1.
Yeah, I agree.
It is to bring back the career mode.
A bit like old school FIFA games back in the PlayStation 2 era, when you were playing the career modes on them, you could upgrade all different sides of your club. Like you could upgrade your club medical, staff. You could upgrade your stadium for better capacities. You could upgrade your scouts to bring better players in. I think with Formula 1 it needs something like that for a career mode where you can upgrade your pit crews, or you're sending them out for training to train them in what they need to do, and every time you do something like that, your pit stop times slowly lower. So as your crew, your pit stop crew are slowly improving, it's slowly taking them less time to fix your car up, so you're spending less time in the pits.
I would like that, I would love the idea of a more managerial role in these games. Even if I still had to play as a driver, I would still love the opportunity to manage the team, and if I was working for a lower ranked team, to build them up. But unfortunately, at the moment, they've not given us that opportunity, and I hope Codemasters goes in that direction soon.
So, with Aaron coming into the final lap, I think we are going to call it here, guys.
Yep.
This has been Aaron on Formula 1 for the PS4. It's interested both me and Scott, quite impressed us.
It does look like a good game. They do look like they put a lot of effort into it. Now, obviously, this has probably been a longer video than what we normally look at doing, but for it being a racing game, we do want to leave it as much as we can towards the end of the race, so you get a sense of how the race progresses, section by section, as we can put it.
Yeah.
So, as always, we hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and a subscribe if you're willing. And from all of us here at Musketeer Gamings,
I bid you adieu.
Goodbye.
And farewell.
Well, you didn't fuck that up.